Hey, what's up everyone? John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be comparing the language apps from Babbel and Rosetta Stone. I did this same app comparison about a year and a half ago, but since I released that video, both companies have made some major updates to their program. So today we're going to take another look at how these two language apps compare, and I'll let you know which one I recommend. And by the way, I should just mention up front here that since I'll just be focusing on the major highlights in this video, if you find you need more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written comparison over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight, Babbel versus Rosetta Stone. It's a quick way to find it. Okay, so I want to start by giving you a high-level overview of how Babbel and Rosetta Stone each work. I think this will help to provide some context for my thoughts on what I like and don't like about each of these apps. So let me start with Rosetta Stone. From a top-down look, there's 20 units in the Rosetta Stone program to complete. These units cover major thematic topics like home and health, everyday things, and work and school. And within each unit, there are 4 main lessons. So you can probably do the math, but 20 units times 4 lessons equals 80 total lessons in the whole program. But each lesson is pretty comprehensive. They're all built around a core 30-minute learning module with a mix of supplemental drills around that, which all cover things like pronunciation, grammar, reading, vocab, writing, and listening. Those supplemental drills each take about 5 to 10 minutes. But as for what the core lessons and drills are actually like, the thing to know about Rosetta Stone is that the whole program is largely built around images. Almost every single exercise consists of a series of pictures on tiles, which you use in some way or another. Sometimes the program will say something and have you match what was said to the right picture. Sometimes it's matching written phrases to the images. Sometimes it's speaking what's in the image and having the speech software listen in. And sometimes the pictures are used to teach grammar. But bottom line, Rosetta Stone mainly uses pictures to teach the language you're learning. The program is clearly built to have you create mental associations between what you're learning and imagery. This forces you to rely more on intuition rather than memorization to learn the language. Now, Babbel is pretty different. Taking a top-down look at Babbel, there are different learning levels within the program: newcomer, beginner, intermediate, advanced, etc. And within each level, there are typically somewhere between 2 and 8 courses that cover different thematic topics, kind of like Rosetta Stone: sports, travel, etc. And within each course, there's anywhere from 5 to 15 lessons to complete. So again, from the top down, that's levels, courses, lessons, kind of like a pyramid. Assuming you have no working knowledge of the language that you're learning, you'll start with the newcomer level and you'll shoot to complete a lesson per day or at least a few lessons per week. And as for what the lessons themselves are like, each one is pretty short in length, generally about 15 minutes. They go by pretty fast and are shorter than doing an entire Rosetta Stone lesson, which take about an hour to complete when you do a core learning module plus all the little supplemental drills. The Babbel lessons are shorter because each one is comprised of a series of several quick-hit, hands-on exercises. There's listen and repeat exercises, digital flashcards, fill in the blanks, matching pairs, matching phrases to images, completing mock conversations, short instructional tips on grammar, and a few more. It's a very diverse approach to learning in terms of format that moves really fast. Babbel basically presents the same content in a variety of ways and really forces you to interact with the material. Then, outside of the lessons, there's also daily review sessions where you get spaced repetition on vocab that you've already learned in older lessons. So, from a high level, that's how the two companies compare. The key takeaway here is that the Rosetta Stone lessons are really image heavy and each lesson is a little longer, while the Babbel lessons are broken up into more bite-sized chunks and contain more variety in terms of exercises and drills. And by the way, if you want to see some examples of the lessons or drills from both companies, be sure to check out that full detailed written comparison I mentioned. I'll have it linked down below in the description for you. I have screenshots and examples over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Alright, so before we dive straight into talking about what I like and don't like about each program, let's quickly touch on cost. Rosetta Stone has 3 different plans to choose from. There's a 3-month subscription plan, that costs $12 per month. There's a 12-month plan, that also retails for $12 per month. And there's a lifetime plan, which is a one-time fee and gets you access for life to all of Rosetta Stone's languages for around $300. And if you're wondering why the 12-month plan costs the same as the 3-month plan, it's because Rosetta's almost always running a sale on that package and it's most often found for $8 per month. And similarly, the lifetime package, even though it retails for $300, you can almost always find a code to make that $180 total. Now, Babbel has a very similar model. They've got a month-to-month plan, a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan, and a 12-month plan. Those subscription plans all range from around $6 to $14 per month after discounts. And similar to Rosetta Stone, they also have a lifetime plan which includes access to all of Babbel's languages for $300. So in terms of pricing, these two apps are basically identical, with Babbel's subscription options maybe being a buck or two cheaper per month depending on sales. And on that point of discounts, I would just encourage you to check for sales and coupons before buying. We track both companies' sales calendars and they're almost always running some sort of deal or special promotion, and you can usually knock a few bucks off. In fact, I'll drop any current discounts that I can find floating around out there down in the description for you, so make sure to check that out before buying. You might be able to save a few bucks if one of these apps ends up being a good fit for you. Alright, so now that we've covered how each app works and pricing, let's get to my personal thoughts on each app and where I see each one being better. And let's start with Babbel. The thing I like most about Babbel's program over Rosetta Stone is the variety of drills and exercises. The one thing you'll notice about Rosetta Stone is that the drills are kind of monotonous. They're all essentially a derivative of the same flashcard type drill. You just match pictures to phrases over and over and over. In contrast, the Babbel lessons have a ton of variety in them, which keeps things more balanced and engaging. For me, the diversity in the drills just kept me more engaged during the Babbel lessons. Then, my second win for Babbel is grammar. When it comes to grammar, Rosetta Stone does things a little differently than most apps. Rather than more direct instruction, they kind of let you discover grammar intuitively. They teach verb conjugations and tenses through the image exercises. So as you see the different sentence structures and verb forms over and over in the drills, you start to intuitively pick up how the language works. Now, in contrast, Babbel takes a more direct approach. They work grammar into each and every lesson. There's exercises that teach grammar directly, as well as tips and call-out boxes that frequently appear to work in teaching points. Grammar instruction is just more prevalent in Babbel's program, and it's layered in a very smart way. Alright, so my third highlight of Babbel's program is their daily review sessions. Now, Rosetta Stone does have a review function too, but you only see it every few days and only as you get deeper into lessons. Babbel leverages reviews much more heavily though. Every day when you log into the Babbel app, you're prompted to do a short review. Basically, Babbel takes vocab from old lessons you've completed previously and pulls them back in for a spaced review. So over the course of the program, you'll see every word or phrase at least a half dozen times over the course of several months. Plus, you can choose how you want to review: flashcards, listening, speaking, or writing. Listening is my personal choice, but I like that they give you the optionality. Overall, the review system is just really strong for getting you to remember and internalize new words and phrases. Alright, so my last one for Babbel, and I might catch some flack for this, but I think their speech software is better, or at least not as annoying. Although the Rosetta Stone speech software gets a ton of hype because they've got a patent on it and have spent so much time and money on it, it honestly bugged the heck out of me the whole time I was using the program. So many times I knew I'd be saying a word correctly and it would say I was wrong and make me repeat it. Sometimes 3 or 4 times in a row. It honestly got pretty frustrating. Now, the Babbel speech tech isn't perfect. It doesn't give you detailed feedback like the software from Rocket Languages or Pimsleur, but it was at least less sensitive. The Babbel tech will only make you repeat things when you truly butcher a phrase. So again, Babbel's software isn't over the moon amazing, but I definitely prefer it to Rosetta Stone's. Alright, so that's where Babbel wins. Now let's switch sides and cover the major pros in favor of Rosetta Stone. But before I hit you with that, I do just want to mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. It's really easy to enter. Everyone out there is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description on how to get entered, but just know it takes like 10 seconds, and hey, you never know, you could win a totally free subscription to Babbel or Rosetta Stone. Alright, so my first advantage for Rosetta Stone and where I see them beating Babbel is all of the visuals and graphics. If you're a visual learner, I think there's no doubt about it, you have to go with Rosetta Stone. Some people are just pure visual learners. They associate the new things they learn with pictures and graphics, so when they hear that word again, the image comes straight to mind. Or even the opposite, when they see something similar, the vocab comes straight to mind. If you're one of these people that learns visually and makes mental associations, then Rosetta Stone is awesome. With all of the pictures in the program, it will be very effective for you. And another aspect of Rosetta Stone that I like is its use of immersion. Basically, in the Rosetta Stone program, there is very little use of English. They don't directly tell you what to do in each exercise in English or translate words and sentences for you. It all goes back to the point I made earlier about learning intuitively. They want you to be immersed in the language for the 15 or 30 minutes that you're sitting there working exercises, learning by frankly struggling a little bit. Now, they do in some parts of the program give you translations, but usually you kind of have to work for it. And the reality is that the fastest, most effective way of learning a new language is being immersed in the culture and hearing the language day in and day out. And Rosetta Stone tries to give you a brief stint of that every day. Now, to some people, this can be a little frustrating and discouraging because you will get hung up and completely stuck at times, but if you don't mind struggling at certain parts, it can be highly effective. And my final pro for Rosetta Stone is all of the cool extra resources that they provide. Babbel has a decent slate of its own extras with games and podcasts, but Rosetta Stone offers more supplemental tools than just about every other app on the market. There's phrase books, short on-demand video lessons, stories, audio companion lessons, and even some live lessons. They just have an incredibly comprehensive suite of tools for you to use outside of the main lessons. So if you're very serious about learning and want to do some extra credit outside of your daily lessons, Rosetta Stone is going to give you more opportunity than Babbel and just about every other language learning company. But anyway, that about does it for the detail in this comparison. So let's get to the final verdict. Should you choose Babbel or Rosetta Stone? Well, while I like both programs, for me personally, I prefer Babbel. The Babbel lessons are more engaging because of the variety in their exercises. The daily review sessions are great for spaced repetition and internalizing new phrases. And I like the more direct approach to grammar and instruction, rather than relying on intuition. But that's not to say everyone would like it better. If you're more of a visual learner or you want to be tested daily with a more immersive learning experience, Rosetta Stone would be a better fit and could work really well for you. But at the end of the day, I personally just found the Babbel lessons to be more engaging, the right length for me, and ultimately a more effective, less frustrating program. But anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope this video was helpful and you learned a little something about both Babbel and Rosetta Stone. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full, detailed written comparison that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the other videos on our YouTube channel. We got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you next time.